Daniel Dubois has just stopped the drug cheat Jarrell Miller in the 10th and final round. And yeah, great stuff from Daniel Dubois. I thought a really good performance from Dubois, to be honest with you. I feel like he boxed really, really well. And Jarrell Miller, just getting really tired at the end. Luckily, he didn't have that special cardiovascular steroid. Otherwise, he would have been able to hold up. But yeah, Daniel Dubois put on a real good boxing performance, to be fair. He kind of had me a bit worried in those middle rounds, though, Dubois. It was like 5th, 6th or something, or was it the 4th and the 5th? Where it looked like Jarrell Miller was hurting Dubois and Dubois was getting a bit tired. But in the end, Dubois was coming out to each round, looking really light on his feet, jabbing well and keeping Miller at distance. And I feel like the reason why we were getting a bit nervous in those middle rounds is because Daniel Dubois was engaging a little bit with Miller in the game that Miller would like. And that is, a close-up war, and Miller was usually getting the better of those exchanges. But in the end, Dubois did the right things, kept him at range with that jab, picking the good combinations off, which was great stuff to see. And yeah, Daniel Dubois did the right things, got a late stoppage. Loads of people were doubting him coming to his fight. I thought he'd win. Thought he'd win slightly earlier though, but I said Dubois would win. But yeah, loads of people saying Miller would win and that, Dubois wouldn't be able to get him out of there. Miller's 23 stone and would be able to walk him down. It did look like that at a point. It looked like, Miller was able to take Dubois' punches fairly well in the earlier rounds, taking them well and looking to walk Dubois down, try and push him on the ropes a bit and try and get exchanges up close, which Miller was getting success of doing in the mid rounds. But Dubois ended up, having to change things up and go back to how he started, and that's how Dubois ended up winning the fight, getting a final round stoppage in the last 10 seconds. It was the right stoppage. Miller was getting rocked. He was all over the place. I would have liked to see Miller hit the deck. I don't say that about any fighter, but as it's Miller, I would have very happily seen him hit the deck and be out cold. But no, the ref stopped it. It was the right stoppage, though, to be fair. There was no response from Miller. Dubois was bashing him about with some big combos. And yeah, great stuff from Daniel Dubois. I'm glad he won. His career's still back on track now. If Dubois lost today, then it basically, would not have looked good for his career whatsoever. It could have been really career damaging if Dubois lost that today. He had a lot of pressure on him, Dubois, and he was able to do it. So big fair play to him. Daniel Dubois' footwork looked a lot better than usual. It's a lot better than I thought, I'm not going to lie. He was looking good with the footwork today, needed movements. And, again, at times, especially in the earlier stages of the round, he was looking good and light on his feet. It was good to see. So look, if we go back and talk about those earlier to middle rounds, Dubois was doing well at the very start of those rounds. Then Miller was kind of coming back. It looked like Dubois was the more tired out of the two, but in the end, Dubois kind of became more unstuck, less sluggish. Miller was very sluggish the whole fight, missing a lot. Dubois was definitely a lot more accurate than Jarrell Miller was. Dubois was fairly accurate today. I feel like he boxed really, really well, to be honest with you. I gave Miller 2 rounds, really. I gave Miller 2 rounds, to be honest with you. Some rounds were close, yes. But I feel like Dubois was really strong for the majority of the rounds. Then Miller kind of came back with a bit of a flurry of shots in the end of the round, which looked the more clean shots. But Dubois was, doing the better boxing in those middle rounds. Early and late rounds, Dubois won. Dubois won the early and late rounds. 100% he did. Just because he was sticking to the boxing. And that's what he had to do to win. He wasn't going to end up winning if he, continued standing and trading with Miller. His corner clearly went back to his corner after those middle rounds, and his corner said, stick to the boxing. And Dubois boxed really well. He was slipping under shots well. Yes, Miller was getting a bit wild and predictable, But no, Dubois was slipping under them well. Lots of shots well though, coming up with some good shots, and he was doing a good job. Then as it got later on, that's when he was boxing his best. He was in and out of there quick after getting some good combos in, going to the body a bit. But body shots didn't really worry Miller too much. It was mostly the shots upstairs, which really did hurt Miller a lot in that fight. To be honest with you, and yeah, in the end, Dubois was able to kind of just keep his distance and pick his shots well, and it started to hurt Jarrell Miller. Miller just looked really sluggish though. I feel like Miller tired himself out massively. He wasn't really going to last too long, but fair play to him for staying in there and staying on his feet. There were some big shots taken from him today, but look, Dubois took some big shots in those middle rounds, and there were times in that fight where I actually thought Daniel Dubois might have actually got dropped, and he ended up staying on his feet. So fair play to Dubois. He was in trouble in that fight and had to come back. He was tired and he was in trouble at times and came back and ended up boxing his way to a fantastic win with a late stoppage at the end. So yeah, great stuff to see from Daniel Dubois. Really happy for him. Big win for him and big comeback fight for him. Okay, before I end, I want to say for Jarrell Miller, what do I want to see from next? I do want to say, I want to see Jarrell Miller versus Derek Chisora. That's the fight that I want to see next. Chisora's not retiring, so we might as well give him the Miller fight. I feel like that's an intriguing one. Daniel Dubois. I would like to see Dubois in there with Frank Sanchez. I'm not going to lie. I would like to see that fight. And, Caballero and Dubois could be an interesting one. We need to build Dubois up a bit more before he gets these bigger fights. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, okay? I'll speak to you in a bit. Thanks for watching. Peace out.